Today we're watching a presentation by Pritesh Damani, the Chief Technology Officer, and Jenna Rosenblatt, the Chief Operating Officer at the 2024 Real Summit event. In this presentation, they go over some groundbreaking breakthrough technologies that they're bringing to Real Broker in 2024. They also talk about some really innovative features for team leaders, who's going to aid them in managing their team members at Real Broker. This is a super interesting presentation. It really shows the innovation behind the scenes here at Real Broker. Let's go ahead and hop in. And real quick, if you are interested in learning more about Real Broker and you're looking for a sponsor or a co-sponsor into the company, be more than happy to have a one-on-one video call with you. Link down in the description where you can set that up.
Pritesh Damani and Jenna Rosenblatt.
Back and forth, keep things interesting up here. Want to kick us off?
So, well, thank you everyone for coming.
We're a lot more tame than Jesse and Sharon.
Yeah, this is going to be your funny moment. So, well, just before we get started, how many people from November 2021 still here? Still here is important because these are people who yelled at me, by the way. Look around. So, well, no, Canada, it's a difficult business and a difficult industry with a lot of regulations. So, it's been difficult to build it up so far, but I think we've gotten to a point where things are about to get exciting. So, I think Jenna has a few things she wants to say, and then I have a few things.
Yes.
All right, John.
You're a great pair, I promise. So before we get into talking a little bit more about Leo, which I feel like he's like the hot guy around here right now, right? Everyone wants to know what's going on with Leo, what's he doing, what's next, right? And
just for reference, Leo is our AI assistant. Because we produce all our own technology, we have access to all of our own numbers. So our production numbers, our average commission numbers, our closed transactions. And Leo is our AI assistant that uses similar technology to ChatGPT to look at that data, and then we can ask it questions and it can provide us information about our own businesses in a conversational English. So when she talks about Leo, this is our AI assistant. You can access it on your desktop or on your mobile phone.
I wanted to first talk a little bit about pro teams. So this is really applicable for you guys, of course, if you're on a team, if you're team leader, but a lot of you are talking to teams. You're talking to independent brokerages who may want to come on board. And so we want to make sure that it's important for you to know kind of the key features that are available within pro teams today. And then we'll get to the exciting stuff with Leo. So first, there are three main components with the new pro teams, which is the infrastructure within reason that really gives teams and independent brokerages full ability to customize their commission and splits and everything that are going within the team. The first aspect is the concept of the team cap. So this works just like a cap would on your split tier brokerage, but there are two options. So it can be unlimited. Some teams, don't put a cap on it, or you can set a limit. This is now fully in the system. A lot of teams before would have to track all of this manually. Lots of spreadsheets I've seen that y'all are managing, which is more power to you, but I'm kind of like death to the spreadsheet.
And just for further context, so Pro Teams is our technology on the back end that Real launched earlier this year to help team leaders manage the costs and fees that they charge to their team members. And what it allows you to do is charge different costs and fees to different agents. So for example, if you wanted to have one group of agents that are maybe higher producing agents and they just give you a minimum of 10% of each transaction to the team leader, maybe they don't get any coaching or one-on-one support, you can have a different group of agents that gives you 50% of their transactions to the team leader, but you actually mentor them, you give them more one-on-one support. You can set that up fully automatically within Pro Teams. I've also seen team leaders who maybe have some agents on an older split, and then they have agents that are on a newer percentage split. Now you can just designate what their splits are, and it automatically calculates all of that for you. And so what she's saying here is that now with this Pro Team software, you can set up a cap within your team. So Real Broker is going to take 15% of every transaction that they close team member is going to have a $6,000 cap, so a half cap. You can then have a cap on your team. So once they pay you $25,000 a year, $30,000 a year, they can cap within your team. That's one of the newer features that they're rolling out. Now, a lot of teams already had something like this, and what they had to do is track all of this in spreadsheets for every single transaction of every single team member. I have an interview with Darren Langille, who has a 90 agent team, and he would have to pay an admin to track every single transaction that every single agent makes and what their commission is, just to kind of keep track of what their split is with the team. Now he can fully automate all of that with our Pro Teams software and literally save hundreds of hours of admin work every single year. So it's literally saving him money. And so when she's talking about Pro Teams, this is kind of the back-end software for team leaders that she's talking about. And this is one of the new features, is that you can now set caps for your team split with your team members. So there's a few other really cool new features rolling out here too, though.
So this will track everything. It'll automatically cap, know a capping transaction. And so all of that manual work is off your plate. You don't need to worry about it anymore. Next would be team fees. So a lot of teams will often charge a transaction fee that historically they're having to manually manipulate the system, kind of add it in. Now it automatically gets added to each and every transaction. You don't have to do a thing. So a transaction gets created, boom, it's automatically there. It's really, really cool. And then the last main feature is pay on behalf of. And so what does that mean? We know that there are fees on transactions, EOP fee, there's the brokerage fee, there's different things that come post-cap transaction fees. And now you can fully customize if you as a team leader want to cover that. So all of that is available within a click of a button. It's fully customizable down to the agent and transaction level. So it's not a team level setting where, okay, well that works, but what if it needs to change for X transaction? Or what if the setup is different for a particular agent? You can drill it down all of the way.
So you hear that now you can do this on the agent by agent level. So each individual agent, you can go in there and say what percentage split they're going to have, what fees they pay versus what fees you pay, what their cap is for being on your team. So all of this can be fully negotiable for team leaders, and that is incredible. I don't know any other company that has this type of software where you can go down to the agent level for the team leaders. Prior to this, everybody just had to track all of this in spreadsheets, which is entirely just time consuming and burdensome. Being able to do this on the agent level, that is such a cool feature, and I think definitely something a lot of team leaders are really going to appreciate.
So you may be saying, okay, that's great, Jenna. We already knew that. I'm a good study. I pay attention to what's going on. What else? I want more. You guys are always asking for more. Even though Pritesh and I get things out, you constantly want some more things. So if you notice, a lot of the benefit of Pro Teams is the ability for you all to have the full control within your hands. And one of the things that Pritesh and I have been working on is, how do we make it that team leaders, whether they're first coming on to the brokerage or throughout their life cycle, can make it so they can add agents at a whim, at a moment's notice, without needing to come to support, even though we are here to help you. And so Pritesh and I are introducing today the concept of self-serve team management. So what this will mean, and I'm going to show you, kind of walk through it a bit here, is now when you're in the Pro Team, you are going to notice that there is going to be an invite agent button. So before, this is not something that has been there. You have been like, oh, I want to add Dre to my team. Let me go email support, see if they can add her in there for me. Now when you click that button, you're able to actually add their name and email, and it'll send them an email invitation to join Reel. This is Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. And this is before they've even applied. So this is taking them directly to a customized link to join your team at Reel. You get the full status along the way. So you'll notice that this says emailed. That means that, hey, you've emailed them. You can copy, you can resend, you can keep it going. It also will track their application progress along the way. So no more, hey, did Michelle already apply? Where is she? Did she sign her ICA? Has she been approved? What's going on there? So you'll see that, hey, Dorothy has now started her application. So as she tracks throughout the application process, You'll be able to track right along with her with full visibility. No more reaching out and asking questions. You have it right at your fingertips. Let's keep going. So once she's fully on board, it'll show as approved, and you'll notice that now you're able to edit. So there's an edit button. This is where you can do all of the editing of those settings that we talked about just a few moments ago. So when I come in here, I can change her cap to whatever I want it to be based off of what's available to me in the team. I can go ahead and override. Maybe she's, the agent that started with me from day one, so I don't charge as high of a split for her on the team. I can go ahead and override that team setting directly and change that. I can also cover fees for her. And then last, I can do a different team cap. Maybe this team cap is different for her, different transaction fees, again, all customizable down to the agent. So super, super exciting, self-service.
I think that is so cool. I don't know of any other brokerage that has technology like that. One thing I like about Real is that all the agents at Real, we all have the same cap, the same fees, the same 15-85 split. Whereas at other brokerages, you would often have agents that would negotiate different splits and different fees with the broker. And I do like that all the agents are on the same level, but this gives that flexibility to team leaders. So if you have somebody that you want to bring over to your team, but you don't want to do the standard 50-50 split with them that team leaders often do, you can fully negotiate what your splits are going to be with a agent on your team to get them over to join your team. This could also help out with agent retention. Let's say somebody joins your team as a brand new agent. Maybe for the first couple of years, you have them on kind of a steep split, maybe 50-50 split. If they ever say, hey, look, I'm thinking about leaving the team, going off on my own, you can say, hey, look, you've been here for 2 years. You don't need as much hand holding as you did when you first joined. I'll go ahead and reduce your split just to keep you on the team. So having this flexibility can help with agent retention on your team, can actually help team leaders attract more people to their team as well. So I love this feature. I think that this is so cool, and it's awesome that Real is trying to focus on those little quality of life things for team leaders and really for independent brokers as well. This gives them a lot of flexibility. A lot of independent brokers have very unique structures already set up. With this, most of them are able to come on board and still have very similar fee and cap structures as they did as an independent broker. Super cool feature, I think.
But as I said, you guys always want more. It's never enough. You're always wanting more. So Pritesh, do you have anything else for us that you could talk about?
Sure. So, how many people are on teams? And so keep your hands up. I just want to make sure people understand why that was big, because I didn't get enough clapping. How many people are part of teams? So look around. It's 70% of the audience. So that, even though it felt boring, it's Listen, the whole reason J Money is here is so that you guys can forget me. No, but
you said that was boring. I felt like I'm pretty.
It was not you. It was
Your product is boring.
Product. Whatever you want. So, but the vision of Pro Teams. Before I move on to the next, if you want to walk away with one thing, if you're attracting a team, right, an indie brokerage with maybe private label or whatever in the United States, you want to walk in and say, you don't have to change a thing to move to Real. That is the vision of Pro Teams. So if you want to walk away with one thing, forget the buttons, the features, you can walk into a brokerage and you can say, you don't have to change a thing to move to Real. You don't have to explain to your agents, there's a new fee, there's this, there's that. None of that. You can keep your 70-30 split and Real take care of all the accounting jiu-jitsu in the back. Right? That's the takeaway. So if you remember one thing. So, the other thing Canadians complain about was Real Signature. It's a good signature tool, by the way. I've used DocuSign, it actually works really well, but I know the forms are missing. Now what you can do is we're slowly rolling this out. Our brokers and your team can now upload templates and share it with your teams.
Oh yeah.
So this is huge. Like I know there's only one screenshot because we got other things to do.
So I love this. So Real Signature is their digital signature technology that they've built in-house. It actually is really good. It's very user-friendly and easy to understand. Do it on desktop and you can do it on your mobile phone as well. The challenge with it is that it doesn't pull in the forms automatically. So you actually need to go into your Association of Realtors and website and download each form, then upload each one into Real Signature, then save it as a template. Really burdensome. A lot of people don't feel like doing that. So now they're saying that your broker for your state, he can do that and set them up as templates to make sure that, all the forms are in there for us to use. And I love that the team leader can do that as well. So if there's a specific way that maybe the team leader wants his forms filled out, there's specific numbers, specific dates, maybe he wants to have, specific name and addresses in there, whatever, he can create templates for his team members to use, and they can just kind of tap into that folder, pull over those documents, and they're already written essentially how that team leader wants them to be written. Really cool feature. I'm actually really excited about this because truthfully, most people haven't been using Real Signature just because it doesn't pull those documents in automatically. So they've essentially found a way to fix that. So now we can access all of our state's contract forms through Real Signature, and just makes it a lot easier, a lot more streamlined for the agents here.
But this is huge. For everybody who wants to, from a simple NDA to state forms or provincial forms or, I don't know, some custom form that you gotta sign for Manitoba somewhere, I don't know. There's a lot of them. Upload them for your team. Your brokers can upload them and they will sooner or later, right? And it will share with the whole province. So this is available United States and Canada.
Yes.
Use it.
Thank you for rolling it out for Canada.
And use it freely for your teams. Use any forms. It's all, there's no limits or whatever.
But you can also share agent to agent too. So it's
Yes.
not just for teams. It's not just within your province. If you have people that you work with closely and you're two kick-ass independent agents, you can share forms within each other too.
Yeah. Just make sure that you're legally allowed to share the form.
Yes. Disclaimer. Alex isn't here. We're fine.
One more thing.
Yeah.
You want to do it?
I'll let you do it. You're on a roll, man. I'm boring, remember?
So, another thing that you guys complain about a lot. Should I point people out? I know who complained the most about it. I really want to, but I'm not gonna do it. Vendor directories. So you can now create a vendor, create contacts inside a vendor,
Oh yeah.
and if you're part of a team, it automatically gets shared with your team. Right? So you put in an attorney, it just shows up. And throughout the application, you're gonna find places, little icons, like say pick from the directory, and you'll be able to sneak them in. This is kind of crowdsourcing. I'll tell you what our longer term plan is. When you guys start putting these vendors in, and if you do a good job and all the details are right, our internal team is going to start accepting them as verified vendors, and it shows up to the whole state. So it's
Profit.
so one of our provinces. This is the second time around in Canada.
I actually really like this feature as well, especially for newer agents that, let's say they come into the industry and they say, well, I just joined, I'm in Annapolis, Maryland, but I don't know what home inspectors you use. I don't know what well inspectors you use, or chimney inspectors, or title companies, or insurance companies, any of these things. Having this database of verified and voted for vendors in your area is going to be huge, that they can just be like, okay, yes, here's a list of vendors that people in Real Broker in my city have vouched for and are saying, are good quality vendors. So I love that for newer agents coming into the company, and for team leaders as well, of course, right? There's definitely a big emphasis on team leaders and being able to provide more value to team leaders through technology, just to make their lives a little bit easier with all these presentations today.
So this is huge for especially for teams. And you know, at the end of the day, they're like probably hundreds, maybe in the hundreds, the attorneys or whatever, right? So we'll get all of them in like a matter of months or maybe 15 days. It's already live. You can use it. People have discovered it. It's probably the fastest used feature after Leo. So because it's organically present, we didn't like announce it, but it's there. If you use your app, you'll start the button. You'll see the buttons everywhere. So this was another thing.
Pritesh, I feel like you've been working on a lot though. That was just a lot that we just talked about. Like, how are you feeling?
Yeah, so there's a slide for that. So every time I get on stage, it feels like I'm juggling balls to keep everybody entertained. So I went to ChatGPT. You know what? Make an image. I just wanted to see. So I put the best photos, like image I have of myself. And
You
this
look
is
great.
real.
You look great.
Yeah, and I said make one. So it did a good job. And no more prompting. This is it. This is all I did. So it got two things wrong, right? One is obviously there are not enough balls. Who juggles two balls? And two is the guy's not as handsome. Come on. So I said add more balls. But part of the what I'm trying to say is here is how I feel when I'm on stage. But then how do I feel about you? So I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, can you make an image of real estate agents watching a comedy show? Because that's what I feel like I need. This is what I owe to you guys. Not the technology. Screw the technology. I want everybody to laugh here.
I think Libby forgot to give everyone popcorn. That would have been better.
Yeah, that was popcorn. Yeah, that was good. So then, but when I see the smiles, I want to do this.
Nice.
Right? This is what makes me excited every day. So, all right, let's talk about Leo.
Yeah, I think that's why we're
That's what we're
excited.
here.
You push.
So the roaring, right? So how many people want to call their brokers? For anything?
No, I do.
I have like 100% of the hands have to go up on this one. This is an easy one.
Or who does call their broker? Do any of you call your broker? There you go.
And then how many people like look for phone numbers? Which phone number do I gotta call? All of them, right? So starting soon, you're gonna be able to do this. So notice it's gonna on the screen there's a call button. Like, do you notice that little call button on the transaction? You'll be able to click that. There's a little video that goes up and down, but you'll be able to click that. And then what it does, it's smart enough to know which broker is available and who's pinned to your transaction, and it automatically routes to that broker for you. This might feel like, okay, whatever, like you create a routing system, great. Gone into 2011. So, but what happens next is even more fun. So the broker is helping you, right? So they pick up and they're on the call with you. And the system is smart enough for the broker to know that they're talking to you right now, right? So it pops up a little window on their side. And this is really key, right? Because it tells them like, hey, you're talking to Pritesh right now. Do you want to go to look at that transaction? And this happens in real time. They don't actually have to do anything. Okay. What's the big deal? So, what happens next? What happens next is that call gets recorded. It's announced like it's recorded and all that good stuff, right? So, it gets recorded and gets uploaded to your file.
Wow.
And then Leo kicks in. So, it automatically transcribes your call for you and creates a beautiful summary. Now this summary is, remember, anything that happens now is recorded. It's what Jesse calls a CIA, right? This is an audit-friendly file that's pre-recorded. Every conversation that you have is recorded and stored here, right? So this is a summary. Like, hey, in this example, there's some negotiation with the client, there are repair costs or whatever, and there's some conversation and judgments, right? Let's take it a step further. What happens if I click on that little view transcript? It's going to show you play by play talks between the agent and the broker.
That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, that is amazing. This is actually a really big deal, I think, because agent support is a big concern of a lot of real estate agents. This is a very high priority for them. And I think that we already do excellent agent support. And it just got that much better with technology. And again, I don't know anybody who has anything like this. You know, most franchise brokerages, you have maybe one person you can call in the office. You got to hope that they're available. They're not on an appointment or on a phone call or on vacation, anything like that. With Real Broker, currently almost all states have multiple brokers in the state at this point. And essentially, you know, my understanding is that those brokers are going to take turns being at a desktop and kind of being on call. So if anybody hits that call now button, there's going to be a broker at his desktop, and it's going to pull up the actual transaction that you're calling on so that that broker knows what you're talking about, can look at your files while you're calling them. Essentially going to be support. And if that broker is on a phone call and is not available, it's then going to route it to another broker and another broker until you reach somebody. So almost guaranteeing that you're going to be able to get a hold of somebody all automatically, you know, one at a time. And I love that, you know, your entire conversations get saved, because oftentimes you're on a call with somebody and you're trying to write down notes like, okay, I need this form, I need this form. Being able to go back and listen to the call again or to scan through the transcript of that call is huge. Like, how convenient is that? You know, and I love that we're using technology to make agent support just that much better. So I am actually really excited about this. You know, just because agent support is such a big concern of so many people. And I think that with this technology, we are going to have, hands down, some of the best agent support in the entire industry. I don't know anybody else that has agent support at this high of level. So I'm actually really excited about this feature.
This is forever, right? It's good recorded in the file. If you ever get audited, if you get ever audited, it's like all here. Like, all you gotta do is use the app to call. The best part is all this information is now trading Leo. So this is just a primer to the RISE conference. So if you come to RISE, you're gonna see how this all comes together.
But Pritesh, I feel like this was just some screenshots and videos. Like, I don't think this actually works.
Here's your little phone.
Oh, how'd you get my phone? That's
It's kind of fun to see it in action. So we're gonna try to do the unthinkable. The demo that always fails when you're live. So I'm going to this app that I have on my phone. I'm gonna hit the exact call button.
Have reached real operator assisted routing. Please dial. Please hold while we transfer you to your broker team.
I like the music.
Yeah.
It's nice.
This is Lawson. Pritesh Damani is calling regarding a transaction on 8571 Three Lakes Lane. Dial 1 to accept the call, 2 to forward to the next team member, or 3 to send to voicemail.
We all know that Tyrell's just going to hit forward every time. Also, I feel like that was the most stressed part of this whole presentation. I was like, please let this actually work, since I called him out that it would not work.
No, it's not. The feature isn't live yet. We have to get everybody trained and equipped. But it's pretty close to live. It will probably be live in the next 15 days. So we gotta roll it out. By the way, the whole roar thing, it actually is a thing. Thank you very much.
So as you can see, we've got some really innovative and cool technology features rolling out to all agents at the company, especially some really great features for team leaders. You know, one thing I love about this company is that they are innovative. You know, say whatever you want about them, they are innovative. They're constantly pushing the boundaries and trying new things. They're not copying what other companies are doing and just duplicating it. They're experimenting and creating new features to really make it the best experience for the real estate agents, and I love that so much. I'm actually really excited about some of these features. Can't wait for them to roll out so I can make some more videos about them. And once again, if you're interested in learning more about Real Broker, I'd love to schedule a one-on-one video call with you and talk to you about your business, talk to you about Real, see if it'd be a good fit or not. I have a link down in the description below where to select a date and time that works for you. You can schedule a one-on-one video call with myself. And if you want to see more presentations from Real Broker events, just check out this playlist right here. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you.